This is the last day of Cleopatra's life. The sun rises over Alexandria, as it always has. But on this day, the city feels smaller, quieter, as if it knows that something ancient is about to end. Light touches the columns of the royal palace, crosses empty courtyards, reflects on marble worn down by centuries of power. There is no music, no celebration, only the distant sound of the sea. Cleopatra awakens before her servants. She has slept little, not from fear, but because clarity weighs heavier than sleep. She does not need to be told, this is the final day. The palace is no longer hers. Roman guards occupy the gates. Foreign standards flutter where sacred symbols once stood. Alexandria fell without resistance. Egypt did not fall in battle, but in silence. Cleopatra sits at the edge of the bed and looks at her hands. Hands that signed treaties, shaped alliances, upheld a dynasty more than 300 years old. They do not tremble. There is only awareness. Mark Antony is dead. He died believing she had already died. A tragic mistake. A cruel end for a man who challenged Rome with passion instead of discipline. His body was removed from the mausoleum only hours ago. Cleopatra has already wept. She has screamed. She has begged the gods. Now there is no mourning left, only decision. She walks slowly to the window and looks upon Alexandria one last time. The city loved her and feared her. It was a stage for feasts, conspiracies, victories, and defeats. Soon it will be just another Roman city. Cleopatra knows Rome. She knows its rituals of triumph. She knows what they do to defeated kings. Chains, parades, crowds. She knows they want to turn her into a spectacle. She will not be a trophy. A messenger from Octavian arrives at the palace. He speaks with calculated courtesy. He offers life, protection, a future for her children. He promises dignity. Cleopatra listens in silence. She understands what is left unsaid. She would live under watch, far from the throne, far from Egypt, far from everything that made her Cleopatra. She thanks him. She asks only for time to perform the funeral rites for Mark Antony. Octavian agrees. He believes he has won. He believes time is on his side. He underestimates the queen. Cleopatra spends the rest of the day preparing, not for escape, not for negotiation, but for closure. She orders her royal garments brought. She chooses no excess, only meaning, subtle gold, jewelry bound to Isis. She will not die as a Roman prisoner, but as a pharaoh. She summons two trusted servants, Iris and Charmian. Neither asks questions. They understand this is not about service, but about bearing witness. The mausoleum is silent. The air carries incense, cold stone, and recent death. Before Mark Antony's body, Cleopatra stands for a long moment without speaking. When she finally does, her voice is low, steady. She does not beg. She does not regret. She simply declares that Rome will not have them, not alive and not in death. She sits. Her posture is upright. Her movements controlled. Every gesture deliberate. Every second chosen. The method of her death was never recorded with certainty. History speaks of a sacred serpent. Others speak of hidden poison, of needles, of secret preparations. But the method matters less than the act. Cleopatra does not hesitate. She does not panic. Her face remains calm, as if she has finally made peace with the world. Iris falls first. Charmian, already weak, finds the strength for one final act, adjusting the crown upon the queen's head. Then she, too, collapses. When Roman soldiers break down the door, they find only silence. Cleopatra is dead. Octavian enters the mausoleum and understands too late that his victory is incomplete. He conquered Egypt, but he lost the queen. There will be no parade, no humiliation, no spectacle. By his order, Cleopatra is buried beside Mark Antony as she wished. With her death, Egypt ceases to be a kingdom and becomes a Roman province. The pharaohs vanish. The ancient gods fall silent. The axis of the world shifts permanently to Rome. But her name crosses the centuries, not as a victim, not as a lover, but as a sovereign. Cleopatra did not lose power on her final day. She chose how to leave it. And in doing so, she turned an ending into dominion, the last act of a queen who never bowed.